My name is Travis. I'm one of the co-owners of CG Society. If you're listening to this, chances are you're replying to my Facebook post about Instagram anyways. So one of the great things that I got from asking for people to share their Instagrams was I discovered quite a few new artists and discovered some new works of artists I already know. So thank you very much for sharing, and I hope to continue to do that. I posted earlier today about just kind of creating a quick tool for you guys to use that might be able to improve this whole process of sharing and following and getting exposure and all that. I also, at the end of this, got some advice and just some tips for you if you want to hang out and listen to that. So pg13.xyz, if you guys want to go and register, you can check out the site. And this site is not another forum to replace what I'm already busy with over at CG Society, but rather just a quick tool for you guys to use specifically for sharing your social networks outside of the big sites like CG Society, ArtStation, Polycount, so on. So general discussion where you can ask questions if you've got advice you're looking for or competing advice you've heard other places and want to get a better, more professional answer. This might be a place to post that. Pro portfolio review we'll talk about in a minute with the rest of the stuff at the end. I think most of people want to know about what we're doing with Instagram. So for Instagram, if you go into the Instagram thread, you click on the world's most important Instagram thread because that's not overly dramatic. You'll see that there's some rules, but rules when it comes to me are just guidelines. That this thread is about just taking the best piece from your Instagram, or the most recent piece, or the piece that you're looking to put out there. Post that image up, just that one image that you feel reflects your work, and then just simply link to your Instagram. Along with that, I'd like for you guys to pay it forward and to post the Instagram of someone that you admire, whether you're inspired by them, whether they're somebody you feel just needs more exposure and is not currently receiving it, whether it's somebody doing something unique and interesting that other people haven't been paying attention to. It's just a really cool way to give back and to come in and say, hey, here's my stuff, check me out, but here's someone else. And here's some exposure for them as well. So you guys can come into this thread, check this thread out, post it, and hopefully that will be an interesting tool for all of us to check out on a regular basis. If I go over here to Dominator, that's something we'll talk about, I think, at the end. So if you want to know about what Dominator is this kind of a gamification of websites. We'll talk about that at the end. The Instagram gallery is a little bit different from the forum, so let's talk about that. Click on that. So what the Instagram forum is that it's just going to be a gallery literally of Instagram, the same way that the forum thread was. But what's cool about the Instagram gallery is that it actually links to your Instagram. This will probably take a minute to load. As you can see up here, I can follow directly from the gallery itself, or I can add comments or likes. This is just another way, like the forum, that we can create a quick gallery to browse of everybody's Instagrams in one place. I think that's kind of cool. I mean, you could say you could do that on Instagram, right? But if you're specifically looking for game and film artists that you feel are at your level, then coming to this gallery, checking out and posting your work up might be something cool for you to do. You could also click straight through and go straight to their Instagrams, either by clicking an image or clicking an icon. And then I just want to show you how to embed that image real quick. This is Ian Spriggs. We love Ian. Ian's doing some just amazing work and is also one of those artists that's kind of contributing, giving back, doing interviews and helping out those artists coming up. There's a couple of different ways you can embed with Instagram. Don't use this button. Rather, just go to the actual post and just copy the link. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back to the Instagram page, or rather the artist to follow page here. And thanks to net neutrality, probably have to wait a while. Just add media, embed media, and then just copy that in. And you can see here that I have it set up for Twitter and others. If you guys want a Twitter gallery as well, that's easy enough to create. Just let me know. I want to give you guys the tools that you think are useful. Again, this is not really a site to grow big or try to gather traffic. So There you go. So that should pretty much cover Instagram for you guys. And as this fills up, this gallery will fill up for you, and you'll be able to kind of find the following that you're after and looking for. And this is a quick way to do it. The forum thread is a great way to contribute and give back. I do ask that you please do the forum thread and share first before entering the gallery. Once you enter the gallery, you can do whatever you want. It's totally cool. Let's go over to the next step, back to home for more features for you guys that are interested. So what are podcasts? What are pro portfolio reviews? What's Dominator Gallery? Pro portfolio review. So there are artists I'm friends with that are professionals that, have or want to give back the same way that I do. So if you are a professional artist that's worked in the industry and you have 3 to 5 years under your belt, or you've gotten in and you know what you're doing, and just would like to come on here and do reviews for students, for upcoming artists, or maybe for professionals that are trying to get out of the studio they're in and get into another studio, this is the spot to do it. Ian Spriggs is one of the guys that I asked if he could give a hand, and he's jumping in to do that. So all you have to do is upload your best image again, and a link to whatever site you're using for your portfolio, your personal site, your CG Society, your ArtStation, wherever that may be. Some of the teachers that teach with me, or most of the teachers that teach with me, will be doing the same as well. The teachers that teach with me do charge you for their classes and for their time, but they also try to find a way to give back as well. So Ken Fairclough, Hannah King, Adam Scott, Jared Morantz, Jason Martin, all these guys this week will be reviewing uploads as people upload them. So if you guys want to start uploading your stuff, I believe next Friday or the following Monday, we'll be doing some recordings and going over some of the portfolios that we're putting there. There's no guarantee that you'll get done, but post your best image and we'll definitely try to get to it. Podcast. So I've been in the industry for a little over 15 years. I've had my own studio. I was over at Noman for 10 years. I've done about 200 events and over 100 DVDs with professionals. And during that time, it was always the conversations I had at lunch that were the best. It was unfortunate that the interviews that you often read leave out a lot of the good stuff. And so my girlfriend and I decided just to take a kind of trip around the US, at least here, and visit a lot of those artists and do interviews. I also wanted to archive it so that 10 years later, the artists and ourselves could kind of take a look at it and see what advice had changed or what experiences had evolved or remained the same. So I think there's a lot of really cool stuff in here, and we'll be editing them and uploading some of the best parts of them. So if you're interested and you want to check it out, check out the podcast area, and that will be going live fairly soon. So I think there's some useful stuff in there for you guys if you're interested. So before we talk about Dominator, let's talk about the community, right? And the community, I don't mean CG Society's community, but I mean the online community of sharing, whether that's your Instagram and Facebook community, whether that's ArtStation, Polycount, CG Society. I wanted to go over some things that I thought were pretty important. So Polycount. Polycount is this kind of industry, in my opinion, it's an industry legend. It's a site that should be looked at and revered. The guys there do really, really great stuff. They've been updating the site to be more modern lately, and I think that's something all the forums kind of need to do, is figure out what's the best way to speed things up, to make it easy, to give artists the best access. And the thing that I love about Polycount is that there's some of the most unique stuff out there, but they're the absolute authority in games as well. Like if you're in the industry and you're not posting on Polycount, then there's something wrong with you. So definitely check out Polycount, upload your stuff there that relates to games. And then also just be involved and make sure that you're posting comments on other people's stuff, right? Like don't be the person that just comes in and does an art dump and is like, I'm out. Right? Like look for somebody who's like a year behind you and like offer a hand up and reach out to give them something, because that means a lot to us professionals when we see it. CG Society, we have a news page, obviously, which is our front page. This is one of the places where you want to be featured. You want to make it onto the cover, not just a CG Society, but any site that you can. And it's actually not as hard as you would think. If you do a tutorial or a breakdown, or you have a topic that you think is an important topic at the moment, write an article, do a tutorial, send it over and let us know, hey, I'm right now a student getting ready to go professional, and I'd love to get my name out there and feature some of my work. So I did this tutorial and put it there. Would you be willing to put it out there? And we'll do that for you. We're happy to do that. That's what we are. We're a billboard for kind of helping promote artists, and therefore anything you have that does that is good in our eyes. There's also the gallery component, obviously, which, like all galleries at this point, is built for speed. You can come in here and quickly kind of peruse and see what art you want to take a look at and get kind of a quick sense of it. This is one area, if you go up here to galleries, that you can filter and go through trending or featured 2D or 3D. I honestly still prefer to use the forums. Now, that's mostly because I go through every upload this uploaded to CG Society every day, and something I'm kind of proud of. When you look at this forum gallery, it's not a gallery that many of the people use. Most of the people use the galleries because it's a much faster and easier way for busy people that don't have time. I happen to like this way because if you look at latest entries, it's the latest entries. Everybody gets into latest entries. From latest entries, we choose the most finished art and push it to featured 2D and featured 3D. So any student, any hobbyist, any professional makes the latest entries. From there, we filter to featured 2D and 3D. And from featured 2D and 3D, we find which images receive awards from the community and from our moderators. So this is going to bury you fairly quickly. This will keep you up for weeks, and this will keep you up for months. But I like latest entries because it makes sure that I'm not just looking at the art I want to look at, but I'm also looking at people I can help. And I don't have a lot of time, but I do make the effort to go through and help people. And there's always people's names that I get. Like Sebastian took a class from me. I just saw his name come up. Where's he at? Sebastian took a class last year, and it's a guy I didn't know before last year. And from last year to this year, his art went from like 3 to like 8. He just really, really had some huge gains. And by going through and looking at every one of these artists each day or having them take classes, I get familiar with their names. And that's something that's important to me, that, I'm taking a look at not just the good stuff, but everything. And that's something that doesn't happen at all the galleries, which is kind of cool. And I'm proud of that. This is the page you want to get on as well. Because unlike Facebook, where you have to have somebody click on an image, or you have to have somebody click a like button, or they have to make a comment for you to tell whether you're getting traction or not, if you make it onto this page, and this page is up for 4 weeks, this is going to get 4 to 6 million impressions. And an impression is different than a page click, because the only way that this is going to register as a view or register as like is if I click on it and I go through. And unfortunately on CG Society, our system is broke. We're updating that now. But you have a different amount of views. You have a different amount of views. You have an amount of views here, but then you go to the forum thread, you also are going to have a different amount of views. So that's something that's a little bit of annoying on our site. But the whole point that I'm trying to make is that the best thing that you can do at any site is to get onto that front page, because the page impressions themselves are going to brand you as an artist that people want and want to hire. And that is a major, major thing. So that's one of the reasons why we found as many opportunities as we can on our forum page to be able to highlight it. We're also going through and doing things like creating separate galleries, just featured ZBrush gallery, so that on a daily basis, there's just more opportunities, more individual galleries for us to be able to find artists and highlight them and feature them, so that you don't get buried so quickly on the main page, and there's different places to go check out. Wow, Ian Spriggs' pictures popping up all over the place here. Portfolio is not much to say about that. I do love that we have this zoom in feature. Once you have the zoom in feature, it's hard to live without it. So ArtStation, obviously one of the biggest sites out there in the community. Leah's doing an amazing job doing development. The team over there, Serena, is doing awesome with the stuff that she's doing. Just like other sites, they have a latest community trending picks popular. Same thing here. Obviously, you want to enter your work in, and you want to get to that community page or that trending page and get featured there. Or if you're lucky enough to get featured in that top row. So again, getting featured on the top, getting featured on a page, and getting every single impression is going to give you millions of views, whether somebody clicks through it or not. CG Plus is a site that I personally love. It's the Shakuro team that built CG Hub, as well as some other great sites that are out there. QBrush is another great site that I think is doing awesome and doing awesome things. This site is filled with tech that I think most people are not aware of. And I think maybe it's just because there's not a way to easily find it. But this is one I love, the channels. If I go in here, I can create a channel based off software, off of artist names, off of topics, of tags. And I can create my own channel. So every time I come to CG Plus, it'll actually filter this gallery to show me the things that I'm looking for or interested in. There's so many features here to talk about that I don't have time to go over them all. But one of the important things I want to talk about with Dominator is that all of these sites are important. They're actually way more important than people give them credit for. Having multiple galleries, having multiple communities, having multiple websites enables artists from every genre, every background to find their niche to fit in. CG Society tends to favor highly realistic character work, right? If you do really high-end character 3D work, it's probably going to get featured faster and it's going to get featured 2D. However, we still feature 2D. So we do feature and do our best to feature both, but there's definitely a personality to our site which we gravitate towards. If you go to another site, it might be more, 2D environments. If you go to Polycount, it's going to be game assets and texturing. The more sites, the more opportunities there are for people to not get buried and disappear. Every one of these sites have people that go pages deep the first day that really should be on a front page somewhere, but there's not enough websites to split it up and put it up there. And so we really need those pioneers. Here I am, a co-owner in one of the bigger sites, saying, I want more competition. And that's a reality. That's the truth, because it does enable all of us to be much more effective, much more events, much more prizes to give away, much more challenges, and more artists understanding that supporting the communities that support you help all of us have a better environment is a really, really big deal. And so let's go back to talk about Dominator, why I have that and how it helps you and how it helps all of us. So what is Dominator? Dominator is kind of talking about that. Like, what is the community? I have a separate thread within this category, which is asking that question. Like, what sites do you guys use? What sites do you guys think have a lot of value for sharing your work and putting your work out there? And then based off of that, we want to gamify the system. Just simply create a thread and post your art to as many websites as you can, and then put a link to those websites in your thread. If any of those websites feature you, update your thread. If you get featured on 3 of any of those sites that we consider the community sites, then we're going to give you a badge that awards you and a sticker that you can put on your site, which sounds cheesy, but the reality is that those stickers, those awards actually help artists in a big way. Because if you're a student and you're becoming a professional, one of the things that you have to put in your visa application is you have to put proof of extraordinarily talent. And these awards and things from online magazines that are established actually help that process. So we want to give awards for that reason, but also awards basically to show that, you have pushed and you put yourself out there and you got featured. You got featured on 3 of these sites. And by getting featured on 3 of these sites, then we're going to pay to boost your threads and even further. So you're going to end up with millions and millions of views. So, here's an example of Ian Spriggs, who I've used as my guinea pig. Thanks, Ian, for helping us out. But Ian being on this page on the forums at CG Society, if this is up for a month, he's going to get 4 to 6 million views. So here he is on CG Society in the gallery, getting featured onto the cover. He's over at Chaos Group. He's over at Art Station. He's over at VFX Blog. There's a space over here, CG Plus, right? And we don't want to see you guys dominate, and we want to make sure, we're talking about 2 different things. How do we get the artists in the middle more exposure? And then how do we reward the artist that's working hard by doing, what they need, which is giving them even more exposure. So, we're looking at ways of how do we reward both artists. So this is one, just get out there, try hard, support the communities, help us build more communities. Help yourself by getting featured on the front page, and start ignoring that like button, start ignoring those followers, and just get on this page and 4 million views is more views than you're going to be able to get on your own. So that's the rules thread. Here's the linked list of sites you feel make up the communities, and example thread. So example thread just looks like this. Just come in here, post where you've posted to, and as you get featured somewhere, post it down here. We're also going to use this to gauge if we see that you were posted somewhere else and we think that you should be on our cover as well, then that's going to speed up the process for you, and it's going to help you get 2 out of those 3. We're looking for success. We're looking for you to be able to put your name out there as many places as you can. All right, let's go back. I think I covered pretty much everything that needs to be covered. These are just links out to sites. If you guys want to add ArtStation or any other sites there that you think should be linked to make it quick and easy for you, we can do that. And I hope this is a valuable tool and it helps you out. I also hope if some of you are listening and you're pros that you can take the time and find a way to give some of these junior artists a lift and reach a hand out. Maybe if that's just a pat in the back or a nice comment. Years ago, we eliminated the wow, great work, or hey, nice, or whatever. But now I believe personally that just putting, hey, good job, man, is 100 times better than just clicking that like button. Taking the effort to type just a few words is a really big deal. So take the time to do that. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Let me know if this is useful for you or not at all, or if you have any other questions or there's anything else that we can do to help you. If you can, take the time to post on CG Society, help us out, show some support, and help some others out there. Get on ArtStation if you're not on ArtStation. Get on Polycount if you're not on Polycount. And just say thanks to Adam and Andrew and Leo and all those guys that are doing stuff for you. Because I know that we're grateful for you guys. So that's about it. And I hope this wasn't too painful to listen to, guys. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.